Hello YouTube, Jonathan800 here. So today I will be showcasing the greatest president of all time, Alf Landon, in Kaiserreich. So Alf Landon, unlike the other two candidates, two centrist candidates, he is unable to actually side with one of the breakaway states. So either way, Alf Landon, he decides to do the New Deal because he is a liberal Republican, and turns out trying to help the country is not what the extremists want. So basically, what can I say for YouTube? Well, either way, conflict starts, and because you cannot side with one of the factions like Garner or Olsen, you have to deal with the whole the north and south breaking off. As you see, I'm very not scripted right now. So I did not have a big army, and I was like, oh no, what do I do? And then I looked back at the original conflict. What did the Union do? And they focused on the south because there was only the south. But I kind of based my strategy on hold the south, figure out that problem later, and take out where all the industry's at, the north, or technically Rust Belt. So trying to liberate the Rust Belt so I could get my industry back. Yes, I could have taken New York City like this whole time, but I did not because I didn't realize that there's a land border there, even though I played Kaiserreich how many times? Either way, the Philadelphia just got a ton of volunteer troops, so I didn't have to deal with them actually defending the main area of the Syndicalists. It was very annoying to break them though. Like, for some reason, I think it's because of the fighting for America spirit that all the factions get. I don't see how they could actually get supply unless it's local supply from New York. But either way, I just left entire West to be abandoned. I have a lot of room there. The more they go there, the less, the less troops I have to deal with from where I'm actually fighting. Got quite a few encirclements, but my troops are still tied up because, well, 1, no equipment, 2, not enough equipment to get more troops to the front, and just because these troops just do not die. They are just living on, I guess, their shoes and horses, because I have no clue how they're being supplied in there for so long. So either way, after a while, Chicago falls, and all of the industry's back, and then I actually do literal Civil War strats. I think we're not far enough into the video where YouTube doesn't care as much. So I take out New Orleans, and the goal is to Anaconda plan them basically, except I didn't even bother with naval blockade for the most part. I think I did have some subs out, but I just went down the Mississippi, and unlike real life, the South just sucked at holding Vicksburg. There was no siege, it was just a quick cut in two. And because I have the entire US at my arsenal now, they are pretty much doomed. There is nothing they can do to recover from this. Because if they were trying to escape from the Florida Panhandle, or just Florida itself, just the whole right part of the South, I would have just convoy raided them to death. But there's not that many troops there to begin with to help save them. And Texas was just open basically. I was snaking. Turns out when you have Chaffee's, what is it called? Military plan. Oh, so Kaiserreich also at side thing. Kaiserreich added achievements, and that's the main reason I want to play with this, because I was like, I can probably get a lot of achievements playing this. So yeah, I went Chaffee's reform plan. There we go. There's New England, America's whole, yay. And also, I got Hawaii to rejoin. Slight thing though with that. They were in the co-prosperity sphere. Japan wasn't ready for this war as much as neither of us were ready. It was just like a year-long prep for me, or some few months or something. Doesn't go well initially. Turns out when most of your bonuses are kind of for tanks, doesn't work that well. Also, I don't think I improved my Marines yet. I think after this, or during this battle, this was when I actually made 30 with Marines with flame tanks, support arty, and what is it called? Pioneers. So, Japanese fleet got wrecked for the most part. Something I couldn't find though when looking back at the footage was the second battle I had. I had lost 0 ships fighting the Japanese. No, I forgot to get rid of the Bureau Ordnance Board spirit, so all my torpedoes were 10% less effective, yet I was just completely rolling over the Japanese fleet. I have no idea why. I had just level 1 base strike. So I finally took that island, forgot what it was, Marcus Island. Finally got that after a second landing. I didn't have to do it, I could have just hopped directly to Japan, but where's the fun in that? So, Japan, it was somewhat annoying to invade, but I eventually got it. When my 30 with tank divisions got here, juicy. They just broke through the front line and everything collapsed for them. So with that done, we got an election between Alfred and Alfred. And Alfred won. Alfred Landon, I should say. Because this video, as you've seen, was about Alf Landon. So, after that, decided to join the Entente for something to do. And also to take out the Mexicans for being the wrong ideology. And threatening being a threat on my doorstep. You've seen what happens when there are Reds near the US. We tried to take out their leader 638 times. I'm just surprised how you can go 638 times and not be successful. So, Mexico's dealt with. Time to liberate France. Things are going well. I actually did bring the Marine Corps here. Alright, it's the next conflict. Spoilers that the Marine Corps is not in Europe. So, I don't know what to say. This is their average Entente Kaiserreich game. We are absolutely wrecking the syndicalists. They are... I don't know what the Germans were cooking. I guess it might have been the two-front war thing. But the Germans absolutely sucked this game. They didn't know... They weren't able to do anything. Like, even Russia pushed them back in. One time I checked. Russia had like 20,000 deficit in infantry equipment. So I don't know what the Germans were cooking. But I know the syndicalist French were... I think they were just done with their government because they just folded. Partially because of the CAS. I did go, what is it called? Army Air Corps expansion instead of Air Force. Sorry Air Force, but CAS is better than Strat Bombers. So after that, I decided to liberate the homeland for the UK. Landing unopposed. There was no one there to oppose my landing. And I even managed to save the Loyalist uprising in Wales. Who knew that it would be Wales the one who are most loyal to the UK? I just find that odd in Kaiserreich. But either way, the Air Force hops over, the CAS kicks in, and there's nothing they can do. They just get rolled over. The American army was trained by the civil conflict, and syndicalists decide to surrender to the Germans because, haha, funny. So, India. This front was annoying. This is like, I guess, the equivalent of fighting in Vietnam in this. Because I overextended my line. I thought the troops would arrive faster. They did not. I got pushed back quite heavily into that position because I was all the way at Bangalore, and yeah, I was almost encircled and destroyed a couple times, but my master micro of pausing and then playing at 5 speed, it worked well, and I finally brought in the Air Force after building up some fields, and it started to work. I started making my breakout pretty good. Alf Landon, you've done it again. So I decided to push. I glossed over a lot of the India campaign because I don't know how much fun it is just to see the same front over and over again. Because initially there was quite a bit of back and forth, but after I got an encirclement or two, it was just over for them. So I just realized how long this footage is, and I do not have a lot of talking points. Oh no, I should have ran a script. Alright, so this is where I do my first encirclement, I believe. This might actually be my second because I did a lot of pushing in the south beforehand and secured that. But this is where I captured like an army, 2 armies, 1.5 armies, something like that. It was not good, and they never recovered from that. Afterwards, I did a few pushes, a few more pockets. Worked pretty well. This is my last final push for India, just checking out the Japan's puppetry. Actually, not the worst. Kept the monarchy, of course, because it doesn't seem right to, well, I believe it would just... I don't know the events. I didn't want to deal with ultra guerrilla warfare because you upset the Japanese by taking the emperor. There went India, finally. And because the Germans were in a forever war with the Russians, I decided to just put them out of their misery. Also, during that meantime, Venezuela went red, and I quickly dealt with that in the most American way possible. So, yeah, it was... The Germans couldn't even beat the Russians with a bajillion guns in deficit. So, it was just easy peasy. Also, I did not realize that during the Third Weltkrieg, what are they called? British colonies would actually flip over to the British. Makes sense, just never knew that would happen. So, the Germans were trying to rush troops from the Eastern Front, but it's too late. I already crossed the Rhine, liberated the rest of France. You know, if they simply gave us the land back. Halifax Conference didn't, what is it called? Didn't succeed, so this is fine. So this is like the one offensive war Alf Landon did, and I'm gonna say this backfired for him in the polls. Sure, we may be on our way to taking Berlin and such, and owning most of Germany after I do the state transfer thing, just so I can say American troops entered Berlin. And tell you about that, there goes the Democrat, the other Alfred. Boom! Awarded them with medals. By the way, I believe my most awarded division is the Panama Canal Garrison with like 8 medals? No. 7. 7 medals. 2 Medal of Honors with that division. I also made him the general for all of my Marines. They were busy in Asia cleaning up the, what is it called? Bangladesh front that the Germans took. Well, I gave the Germans because player-led peace conference. So, talk about peace conferences. Reichstag collapsed. So, we got the Germans and Austrians. I made a semi-fair, kind of screwed over the Russians. Because, like, Russia, you didn't deserve it. I just gave them Eastern Europe. So, the election of 1944, I, as usual, just went back and forth a bajillion times and kind of slipped there. And Truman, and that's all I could picture afterwards was Roosevelt defeats Truman newspaper. Peak MS Paint skills. Also, it's funny how he captured one state in Middle Africa and the whole place surrounders. And it's kind of the same thing with German East Asia. But with that, peace in our time. The Entente reigns supreme with America at its helm. So thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. You know the deal. And this is Jonathan 800 signing out.